Hello and welcome to today's historic best of 3 deck tech and gameplay video on Simple Red Deck Wins. Red Deck Wins is basically a mono red deck that likes to hit the board early and often. We have a load of 1-drops in Soul-Scar Mage and the new Monastery Swiftspear, amongst others. And we basically want to hit the ground running with 1-drops, curve into like good 2-drops, and just apply pressure to our opponent's face until they are no more. As for the deck itself, it's relatively self-explanatory. It's a mono red deck. The only reason why we're doing this one, to be honest, is because Brothers War came out a couple of days before my recording date, and Monastery Swiftspear was enough to warrant a quick update of a red deck wins. So yeah, we play creatures, we send them face, and we also send some burn to the face. And we have a little bit of card draw and some good lands. Sideboard, totally understandable, nothing too entirely new. A Braid if you need removal, or usually for artifact removal. Cemetery Gatekeeper is a bit of graveyard hate. In mono red, Anger of the Gods is a good sweeper. Robber of the Rich for the more control-y or combo decks in which you might want to hopefully take or exile whatever their big, mean, scary thing is from their combo piece to a sweeper. Rampaging Ferocidon is against life gain decks. Shatterstorm against the loads of affinity decks and just general artifact shenanigans that exist in the format now due to Brothers War, as well as the existing artifact stuff. Enchantra, Awakened Inferno, is another card to bring in against actual control decks, as it can't be countered. If you really want another sweeper, you can also bring in Chandra, although 6 mana for a 3 damage situational sweeper isn't the best, but it's something you can do. And that's the deck tech. Remember to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you would like to see more, and now we'll go on to game number 1. And game number 1 with our little red deck wins. Go ahead and play first, because again we have a brain in our skull. Okay, 3 lands, 4 spells, not too bad. We'll go ahead and play the Din on 1, since it is the way we can ensure our stuff comes to the play untapped. What is that art? It's interesting though. Anywho, Den of the Bugbear into a Soul-Scar Mage. Which is kind of like what we talked about earlier in the video, where we talked about wanting to hit the ground running, if at all possible. Although sometimes your opponent just has removal. You don't really have an option on that front. Sure, we'll go ahead and do this. Play a mountain. We'll play with fire, just to see what we can get off the top. Well, crop is not bad. Odds are we'll probably play a Laelia, or Laelia, or whatever the hell her name is. Okay. So if they're gonna have more removal, they're gonna need to do it now. Fabled Passage will apply it to 3 colorless. So probably a Plains, if I had to guess. Why? Oh well. Continue with planning. Probably has something. Static Discharge. Okay, I no longer know what our opponent's doing. I thought I did, but that is pretty much not the case now. And again, we'll just play with fire to their face and play the Crasher. Khenra's not bad. Haste, that can turn off more blockers. Right now, we're just in the market of trying to push as much damage to our opponent's face as possible. Of course, we're only going to bother to exert it if we have, you know, a creature to basically turn off blocking. Our graveyard. I mean, okay, that's like kind of annoying, but not that bad. So I think we'll just play the Shatter Skull Smashing as a land. We'll have it enter the battlefield tapped. Go ahead and go with our Earthshaker Khenra, as we can turn off their Arcane Proxy. And just bonk them in the face. If we draw a Ramanat Ruins, we are sitting on a good amount of damage. But first we'll have to see what they can do. Almost certainly has another removal spell. Yep, I forgot about the Unholy Heat from earlier. Although that does exile it, correct? That's fantastic. That's exactly what we want. Let me check real fast. It is a battlefield. If you cast it, exile instant or sorcery card. Less or equal to its power, copy it. cast that card. Does it not get rid of it? Okay, so it does get rid of the card, right? Yeah, it is Exile, right? Since they are a is-it list, there's almost no way they're going to have life gain, so we're just going to slowly start chunking our opponent down with a Ramadan Ruin. This is the reason why we run the Sun-Scorched Desert, so that we're basically sitting on, 4 ruins and 4 Sun-Scorched Deserts. That's basically, see, 2 times 4 is 8, 8, 16. 16 plus the 4, I think, what? In theory, 20 damage from our lands alone. Now, they're running a lot of instants and sorceries and stuff. They appear to have arcane proxies. We didn't see that much else. Let it be known that the abrades might be good, but for right now, we're just going to keep the Cemetery Gatekeeper as we want to get things out of the graveyard. I think Grim Lavamancer might be a little slow. One more thing. Honestly, the Crasher could probably go. Oh, it's not realized. I hadn't changed the deck layout back. There we go. Our hope here is to exile some instants and sorceries and really make them sort of costly to activate. Also, I do apologize if in moments like this you happen to hear a low hum in the background. But it's really, really cold, so I have a space heater. And it's like 32 degrees where I live outside. Alright. Honestly, not bad. 1 drop into a Gatekeeper. You do have some options. Go ahead and play the Soul-Scar Mage, since they probably have some form of removal. Yeah. Next turn will likely be a Sun-Scorched Desert and playing the Gatekeeper to get rid of the Unholy Heat. It's not that bad. So yeah, original plan maintains. Of just playing the Gatekeeper, getting rid of their Unholy Heat. At least make them take some damage or work for all of their neato cards. He might just play an instant spell and kill it right now, but also it does just get rid of things. Okay, that's good. There's another one. You're really hurting yourself. You better find something real good out of this. If nothing else next turn, we can just play a Swift Spear and go a bonk in our opponent's face. But if we draw a land, we might play a Laelia as just a pretty mana-efficient thing to do. Also, we want to avoid... No, that's not... Yeah. We want to play the Laelia, since we don't want to activate 2 spells to grow their Ledger Shredder, if it can be avoided. Go ahead and attack with a Laelia, hoping that it's free. Oh, I would have loved to have that card. Well, that stinks. The next turn, or just the turn you play? Yeah, I'll do it. Unfortunate to basically not get any use out of copy number 2. But that's not that bad. I don't think they... I don't know if I mean, maybe they'll attack. This might be what they're doing. Alright, you're drawing a lot of cards and doing a lot of cool stuff. But you're not alive, it has to be said. It's a weird spot to be in. But I think we're just going to attack with Laelia here. Okay, this is Bomat Courier. It's not the greatest, it has to be said. If they take the block, we should be able to Bonecrusher down the Shredder. This will still allow us to then play a Swift Spear as a second spell and not trigger the Ledger Shredder. It's an iteration. Is it when I exile or whenever you? Whenever I'll put an exile from your library or your... Okay, yeah. From mine. I thought it was from mine, but it's wanted to make extra sure. See what they find. Okay, they can't prototype unless they drew a land. If they do, what does he do? Static Discharge for 4, which is deeply uncool, it has to be said. What? Wait, what the fuck happened? I'm confused. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on! Let me see the battlefield, please. I'm very confused. View battlefield. Done. Static Discharge deal damage equal to intensity to any target, and perpetually increase it. Your graveyard. Wait, what? How did that not kill it? Starting intensity 3, current 4. He was a 4. What the fuck? Static Discharge deals damage equal to its intensity to any target, and perpetually increase this card's intensity in all other cards named this, and graveyard, hand, and life. Oh, it's from Exile! Okay, now I see. Okay, that's what happened. Because he exiled it with the Arcane Proxy, it didn't, like, upgrade its intensity? I think is what happened there. Because he exiled the card, then cast it from exile, it didn't, like... Well, hold on. The intensity was... That's very weird. I think that's what happened, is because they cast it from exile, it only... You did the base card's starting intensity? I think. Not entirely certain on that one. That's a little weird. But I'll take a win. On to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little mono red list and a aired out Ravnica board. So, pardon that, I don't know what that is. We'll go ahead and throw this back because we can't cast anything. It's honestly pretty good. The only question is, what do we throw back? I think we'll throw the Crasher back, I think. When we eventually get to that point. We'll go ahead and play the Den on 1, because it can come into play untapped in the early turns. That's what we want. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I've restarted my game, and it's just a little bit of a weird bug. So please pardon the big purple blob in the corner of my screen here, as my opponent takes forever and a day to decide what they want to keep. But in the meantime, we'll talk about our initial plans. So yeah, it'll be Den on 1, playing a Courier, probably a Ruins on 2, playing a Khenra. Then if we don't draw another land, it'll be a Crucible of Defiance here, and a Laelia for our 3-drop. Honestly, not too bad, and it's about as good a hand as you can ask for. And we'll go ahead and keep the Crasher back. Oh, he's got old Toady Boy, whose name escapes me. And like every other game, the mono red list, we just want to be really aggressive early on. Try and squeeze some damage in. Overgrown Tomb into Chromatic Sphere. Okay, I think our plan remains the same part. Still play the Khenra, although we can't really take advantage of turning off a blocker. But it's a good problem to have, so I don't think I'm going to cry myself to sleep or anything crazy. Already down to 14. Aims for a red. Some sort of boomery Jun mid-range thing. Roxas did not hurt me that much. I think I'll manage to be just fine with that, because you took another 2 damage to do that. So at this rate, you're damn near going to kill yourself. Again, just play hasty creatures. Yeah. One of the reasons why you got to be careful about running too many Shocklands and trying to do cute shit like this. While it can work, the moment you run into an aggressive deck, you can very easily just kill yourself. This Boomery mid-range is probably going to have Croxes like you did have, and then like Tarmogoyfs or other weird shit. So we'll just bring in some of the Cemetery Gatekeepers. Probably cut 1 Crasher, 1 Khenra. Probably a Grim Lavamancer. Lavamancer is a fun card, but there's a reason why we only run 2. it's like a cute little bit of extra damage, but very difficult to like rely upon. It's more of just a thing you happen to have sometimes. This also pretty goddamn good. We'll probably throw out the Lavamancer on turn 1 as a bit of bait. Yeah, that'll do it. Don't like taking 3 life. Maybe it is Monastery, because I don't think they take that block, actually. I know I just said we were going to do the Lavamancer, but DRC. So it is almost certainly Boomer mid-range. Question is... Oh, okay, well there goes that. Keeping whatever they want. This on the top would imply that it's somewhat good at least. We'll go ahead and din on 2. Then at this rate, I think we will play the Lavamancer and the Soul-Scar Mage. We would love to keep the Shatter Skull to just ping down these 2 DRCs, since the historic nerf means they only get a power boost now. Okay, it's not great. Wow, they pitched a K command. Oh, they have to be looking for a land. Like, yeah, they got removal for days. Wait, okay, maybe they aren't looking for a... Maybe looking for like a non-shock land here. That would not surprise me the most. Yeah, we'll go ahead and hit him with a desert. And then attack with a Squee. Hopefully next turn draw a land. If I don't draw a land, we can always Bonecrusher and play with fire down their Dragon Rage Channeler. Correctly so, do not ping it in. Ah, hell. It's not going according to plan. In that case, I think we'll just actually Shatter Skull one of them. That will give them 3 or 4 Delirium, but our goal here is to make them feel scared enough that they'll, like, jump block with the Channeler here. When that actually happens, of course, is a thing. They do block. Which is good. We're getting there. Ah, anger. Okay, fair enough. Ooh, another death is very good. So we can go ahead and light up the stage, see what we find. Laelia is pretty good. We'll take it. And again, just constant, relentless pressure with like loads of creatures and a little bit of face damage here and there. That's honestly, this has been a very good, quick video to show that Mono Red is honestly, like, in my opinion, and probably shared by other experienced players, especially those more experienced than me, a good Mono Red list in the format is much like a very strong, like a blue-white control, which Historic does have, in that they are, like, the 2, like, tent poles of a format, in that there are things that are the sign of a good format of having good aggressive decks and really good control decks, and then as long as those 2 things hold up and exist in an internal format, for the most part, then everything inside the tent, as it were, or everything in between those 2 points, is pretty much on the table. So honestly, if you're doubting that, mono red, everything's too controlling or too slow, or the meta's in a good spot, I would argue it's actually in a really good spot if you like a good old mono red list like I do. So remember, and that's to go ahead and run it and try it. Even if you don't think you're going to succeed, maybe you will. Now, thank you all for watching. Remember to like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you would like to see more, and if you have any sort of comments, like, say, I don't have X, what can I sub for X? Go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. And remember to stay kind to each other, and also, stay warm. It's really cold out there in North America. Bye-bye!